This video will show you how to bleed the brakes on an Acura RDX. Make sure you have some clean .3 brake fluid and some parts cleaner. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Now a quick note about doing this. We will have to remove all 4 of our wheels so we can gain access to those calipers. Make sure you're in a safe area to do so. Now once you are in that safe area, we're taking a clean rag and we're just going to wipe around the top of the master cylinder. We don't want any miscellaneous debris falling inside of our braking system. After cleaning the area, carefully take hold of the cap, remove it. We'll just give this a quick inspection. Looking along the top, it does say we can use .3 or .4 brake fluid. Never use .5 brake fluid in this system. We'll just give this a quick inspection and set it aside. Now continuing on, we need to remove as much fluid from inside of the master cylinder reservoir as possible. On this application, if you were to look inside, you're going to find that it has a small screen that needs to be removed. For this, I'm just going to use a small pick. You can also use a small pocket screwdriver, whatever's easiest for you. Let's see if we can lift this up. Now a quick note about removing this, you can tell that it does have brake fluid in it. We want to make sure no brake fluid gets on any painted surface. It is corrosive and it will ruin the paint on your vehicle. If you do happen to get some on there, just wash it down with some water. Now to remove the brake fluid, I'm going to be using a fluid extractor. You can see the fluid level going down in here. Now since we are trying to replace all the fluid, you want to try to remove as much of the original fluid as possible. So when we're bleeding the brakes, we're only feeding through brand new .3 brake fluid. After removing as much fluid as possible, we're going to reinstall our screen. Slide it right in there. Let's top it off with our brand new brake fluid. You see that fluid level coming up. It's making its way through the screen, so it just takes a little bit here. We're not in any rush. Let's reinstall that cap so no miscellaneous debris falls inside, and we'll continue on with our brake bleed procedure. Now at this point, we can start our brake bleed procedure. You want to remove all 4 of your wheels. We're going to start the brake bleed procedure at the driver's side front caliper. Once we bled that brake, I'm going to go over to the passenger side and I'm going to do the exact same thing. After that, you need to make your way back up to the master cylinder. You're going to top it off up to the maximum line. Once you've completed that, we're making our way to the driver's side rear. We'll bleed the brake caliper there. After that, I'm going to the passenger side rear. Once again, just repeating that process, and I'll meet you up here for the final top off. Now, as I mentioned, we're starting the brake bleed procedure at the driver's side front. I have a helper inside of the passenger compartment. They're going to pump up the brake pedal for me approximately 3 to 5 times and hold it. When they're holding it, they're going to let me know. I'm going to open up the bleeder screw. Of course, I have a collection receptacle so I can collect and recycle all the fluid properly. Now, once all the fluid comes out, I'm going to close this, I'll let them know, and then we're going to repeat this process several times, removing as much air and dirty fluid from the caliper as possible. Let's remove our small cover. We do intend on reusing that. Go ahead and pump up the brake pedal, please. Go ahead and pump. Go ahead and pump. Okay, you can release, thank you. So now at this point, you saw that I had only clean brake fluid coming up through my bleeder hose. I wanted to confirm that I had no air. That's very important. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and clean up my mess in this area. We'll reinstall our bleeder screw cover, and then as I mentioned before, I'm going to go over to the passenger side and repeat that exact same process. Once I've completed that, you're going to be meeting me up at that master cylinder. Screw cover will protect that bleeder screw. Perfect. Now back up at the master cylinder, we're going to make sure we top off our brake fluid. We can see that the fluid is low before we make our way to the next two brakes. We still have our screen in there, which is what we want. This looks good. Let's continue on with our brake bleeding procedure. Now that I've topped off that master cylinder, I'm at the driver's side rear, just like I mentioned here. So we'll go ahead and remove that bleeder screw cover. My tool on. Collection receptacle. Okay, go ahead and pump, please. Go ahead and pump. Go ahead and pump. Go ahead and pump. Okay, this is looking good. You can release, thank you. So now the couple air bubbles that we did see in this was only because my collection receptacle became dislodged from the bleeder screw. I feel confident that I have removed all the pre-existing brake fluid and all the air from this area, so I'm going to clean my mess. As I mentioned before, I'm going over to the passenger side rear. I'm going to complete this exact same process, and then I'll be meeting you at that master cylinder for one final top off. There. Okay, so we finished bleeding all the brakes. We're back at the master cylinder this one last time. We need to make sure we top it off up to our maximum line. We're using our clean .3 brake fluid just as before. Now that we have that topped off, let's go ahead and reinstall the cap. We'll make sure it's tight so no debris makes its way inside. Now at this point, we fully bled the brakes. You want to make sure you torque each of your wheel lug nuts to 80 foot-pounds. After that, just go ahead and pump up the brake pedal one last time to confirm it feels firm. And then take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.